This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Good night, Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for November 28, 2022. And in the news tonight, headless body of man found in Spanish Town. The headless body of a man was found in Eltham, Spanish Town, St. Catherine this morning. The body was wrapped in a tarpaulin. The discovery was made by residents who alerted the police. Scene of crime investigators combed the scene for evidence, and the body was later removed to the morgue. As at November 24, the St. Catherine North Police Division recorded 130 murders, which is a 51.2% increase over the 86 homicides reported over the corresponding period in 2021. The division is under a state of public emergency, which will expire at midnight Tuesday. Security guard linked to Sakiana murder case offered a $500,000 bail. Rohan Rose, the security guard charged alongside Rashawn Patterson in connection with the death of social media influencer Anika Slikiana Townsend, was today offered $500,000 bail when he appeared before the St. James Circuit Court. Rose, 47, who is of a Hanover address, is charged with misprision of a felony, which is when someone knows a felony has been committed but fails to inform the authorities. During Rose's bail application, his attorney Martin Thomas told the presiding High Court Justice Andrea Thomas that the defendant was not a flight risk and would report to the police as often as instructed. At the time this was reported to him, he had no reason to believe there was any truth to it, but later in the day, things started to develop, said Attorney Thomas, referencing the allegations that Rose was told by Patterson about having killed Townsend. Justice Thomas subsequently offered bail to Rose in the sum of $500,000 with two sureties and ordered him to report to the Lucy police station 3 times weekly. He was also ordered to surrender his travel documents. Townsend's body was retrieved by the Marine Police in the sea in Reading, St. James, on the morning of Friday, October 21. A subsequent post-mortem examination of her body on November 5 concluded that she had been strangled. According to police reports, Townsend traveled from Kingston to Montego Bay on Thursday, October 20, and was picked up by Patterson at 7:30 p.m. that evening, following which they visited a restaurant in Hanover and a guest house in St. James. It is further reported that during the night, an argument developed between the two, following which Patterson strangled Townsend and disposed of her body. Patterson is to have his bail hearing on December 15. Police probing shooting death of Clarendon man. The police have launched a probe into the murder of a man in Treadlight District in Maypen, Clarendon on Sunday evening. The deceased is 40-year-old Donald Simpson. Mr. Simpson and his 2 sons were walking home about 8:45 p.m. when they were attacked by 2 men armed with firearms. The men opened fire, hitting Mr. Simpson several times. His 2 sons ran and were not harmed. The police were called and Mr. Simpson taken to hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Investigators believe his death may be linked to a land dispute. 2-vehicle collision lands 3 people in hospital. 3 people were rushed to hospital Sunday night after a 2-vehicle collision in the vicinity of Manor Center on Conton Spring Road in St. Andrew. The collision involved a Nissan AD wagon and a Toyota Hiace. The 2 drivers and 1 passenger from the Nissan AD wagon were reportedly taken to hospital. According to information reaching the news, one of the drivers allegedly ran a red light, resulting in the collision after 9 p.m. Sunday. Their conditions are not known at this time. St. Catherine husband accused of killing wife further remanded. The St. Catherine husband accused of killing his wife during an alleged domestic dispute has been further remanded until December 5. The return mentioned date was set when 33-year-old tractor operator Peter Walters appeared before the St. Catherine Parish Court today. Allegations are that around 2 a.m. on August 26, the husband and the wife were involved in an argument at their home in the community of Berkshire Hall. It is further alleged that during the dispute, the accused used a knife to stab his wife, later identified as a 34-year-old laborer, Nikisha Da Costa Walters, several times. Following the incident, the accused reportedly drove himself to the Linstead police station, where he was arrested on suspicion of murder. An investigation was conducted and he was subsequently charged. UTech staff back on the job after protesting salary review. The administrative staff at the University of Technology, Jamaica is back on the job after taking strike action this morning to protest a salary review that has been outstanding for more than 5 years. President of the University of Technology Administrative Staff Association, Jeanette Grayson, said the group met with Chancellor Lloyd Carney, who committed to addressing the matter in a week. We have a directive from him that he will be speaking with the Minister of Education and to get back to us within a week regarding our concern, she said. He is the newly minted Chancellor, and we are hoping and trusting that whatever happens, we should be able to stand on his word. Grayson said the organization is frustrated with UTech's management insouciant approach to implementing items on the signed 2017-2019 administrative staff review. She stressed that no administrative review has been conducted at the institution for the past 20 years, and with the compensation reform in the public sector, she believes staff at the institution will be at a disadvantage. For example, 20 years ago, I was at this level and was getting $5. When the public sector reform is done, if the government says I'm going to give you a 10% on what you are now earning, I will only be getting 10% on that $5. Whereas if the review is done, I would perhaps be at a stage where I'm getting $10, so I would be getting 10% on that $10, she said. Adding that the administrative staff has been patient, Grayson said she is hoping to receive a favorable response from the university's chancellor, or they will continue with their series of planned actions. Prime Minister's consideration of more SOEs worrying, says Smith. Political commentator Lloyd B. Smith says it is worrying that Prime Minister Andrew Holness is considering imposing another state of public emergency after failing to get an extension of the measure imposed in 7 parishes. Addressing a press conference after a Jamaica Labour Party Central Executive meeting on Sunday, Mr. Holness said the imposition of another set of SOEs was not off the table but would be carefully considered. But Mr. Smith argues that Jamaicans are being used as pawns in a game of politicking that needs to end, adding that the use of states of emergency is an admission that the Holness administration has failed to devise an effective crime-fighting plan.
Until we are able to get both parties at the table with timelines to say, look, if we are going to have a state of public emergency, it must not go beyond a certain time, for example. I am frightened by the aspect of the Prime Minister saying that he's looking at rolling over the state of public emergency over and over again. That's moving towards a police state. The military should not be used in that sort of framework. And so I am saying that the wider society, yes, we are scared about murders. Yes, we are scared about our own safety. But we need to look at the bigger picture. Why is it that so far successive government, regardless of whether it's PMP or GLP, has failed? And that is where we need to start. Those in the private sector who are more concerned about profit are not looking at the situation in its entirety, whereby it ought to have taken the moral high ground, and rather than just willy-nilly supporting the government of the day, it should have taken the stance that, look, you guys need to go to the table now, even if it means to say to both parties, we're not going to finance you at all.
Attorney Kenyatta Powell has disagreed that politics is at the heart of the decision by the opposition not to support an extension of the state of public emergency.
They allow the government space to implement their preferred strategy in terms of SOEs, and every time they complain, forgotten this, they complain, they said, look, we think that what you're doing is constitutionally dubious, but we don't want to stand in your way, right? So I don't think that what is happening here on the side of the PNP, and I know after this I'm going to get lambasted and called a cupboard or a closet comrade. At this point, I really don't care. But I don't think for the PNP right now it is an issue of just partisan politics. There is a fundamental philosophical disagreement.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.